Greetings, chosen one. Tonight we stand at the threshold of something truly divine. The time has come for your transformation. The Lord has spoken, and His message is clear. I will restore to you what was lost. This is not just a verse, it's a divine decree. Yes, you heard correctly. God is bringing about a big change in your life, one that will move you from where you are to where He has always destined you to be. This is the moment of transition, the moment where your old self gives way to something new and beautiful, divinely orchestrated. You are standing on the edge of a new path, chosen one. A path that promises not just restoration, but a complete transformation of your heart, your mind, and your life. The divine change that is coming is not just a shift in your circumstances, but a shift in the very core of who you are. This is a time to step forward, to embrace the new season with open arms, and to trust that the Lord is with you every step of the way. But before you get too comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. This space is one where we embrace divine change, where we allow God to guide us toward greater purposes and deeper fulfillment. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. This change that is coming to your life, chosen one, is not just a minor adjustment, it is a complete reorientation of your path. The Lord is leading you into a new season, a season where you will no longer walk in the shadows of your past, but in the light of His promises. You are being called to step out of what was familiar, what was safe, and to walk boldly into the unknown. This is the beginning of something greater than you can imagine. It's important to understand, chosen one, that the big change coming into your life will require you to let go. Letting go of old habits, limiting beliefs and fears that have held you back. Letting go of the comfort of what you have known and trusting that the Lord has something far better for you. It's not always easy to release the past, but when you do, you make room for the new. You make room for God's perfect plan to unfold in your life. The Lord has been preparing you for this moment even when you didn't see it. The pain, the struggles, the challenges, they were all part of your divine preparation. Through every trial, you were being shaped, refined, and made ready to step into the destiny that God has for you. And now, as the time of change arrives, you are ready to walk boldly into a future full of purpose, blessings, and divine alignment. Trust, chosen one, that the path ahead is not one of uncertainty, but one of divine confidence. God has gone before you, He is with you now, and He will follow you every step of the way. The change coming into your life is not random, it is part of a perfect divine plan. Your new path is leading you to the life God has always intended for you. This is your time, chosen one. This is your moment to step forward, to embrace the divine transformation that God has prepared for you. So, chosen one, take a deep breath and let go of the past. Step into the new with faith, with trust, and with excitement for what God has in store. The big change is here, and it is the beginning of something truly divine, something greater than you could have ever imagined. Recognizing the moment of transition is crucial when embracing a big change. So often, the divine transformation in our lives comes in subtle ways, almost unnoticeable at first. It's easy to overlook the moment when you are called to step into something new, especially when it feels uncomfortable, unfamiliar, or even frightening. However, chosen one, this moment is not just a chance. This is a divine invitation, one that has been waiting for you. It is the moment that God has been preparing you for, and now it is time to recognize it. The transition you are about to make is not accidental. It is divinely orchestrated, perfectly timed by God. But recognizing this moment requires you to step out of your own limited perspective and see it through the eyes of faith. This is a time to trust that what seems like uncertainty is actually the very space where God will move most powerfully in your life. You may not yet see the full picture, and that's okay. God is inviting you to step forward in faith, to trust that He is leading you towards something far greater than you've imagined. So, how do you recognize the divine moment of transition, chosen one? The first step is to listen to the still, small voice of God within you. When God calls you to step into something new, He doesn't always shout it from the rooftops. It often comes as a quiet whisper, a nudge in your spirit that tells you it's time to move, time to change, time to let go. This inner prompting may feel small, but it is the voice of God gently inviting you into the next phase of your life. Recognizing the moment of transition also requires awareness of the signs around you. God often uses circumstances, relationships, and even unexpected events to guide you toward the change He has planned for you. It's important to stay attuned to these signs and to remain open to God's leading. Maybe a job you've had for years no longer brings fulfillment, or a relationship has come to a close, leaving you feeling like it's time to move forward. Perhaps you've experienced a shift in your heart or mind, as if something inside you is calling you to take a step you've been hesitating to take. These are not random occurrences, chosen one. They are the signs of transition, the divine nudges that God is using to lead you to the change that is coming. But recognizing the moment of transition is not just about looking outward, it's also about looking inward. It's about examining your heart and your desires. God often uses transitions to awaken new passions and purposes within us. Maybe for a long time you felt stuck or unsure of your direction, but suddenly you feel a stirring in your spirit, a deep desire to pursue something new, something more aligned with your true calling. That stirring is God's hand at work, preparing you for the path ahead. The moment of transition often comes when you begin to see yourself differently, when you begin to realize that you are no longer the person you were yesterday. God is calling you to evolve, to step into a new version of yourself that is more aligned with His purpose for your life. Recognizing the moment of transition is also about releasing the past. Change cannot happen if you are still holding on to what was. You cannot move forward if you are constantly looking back. There may be a part of you that feels comfortable in the familiar, even if it's no longer serving you. But the divine moment of transition requires you to let go of the things that no longer serve you, whether it's old habits, mindsets, or even relationships. Trust that what God is calling you to is far greater than what you are leaving behind. One of the most important aspects of recognizing this divine moment is to embrace it with faith. The future may seem uncertain, and the path may feel unclear. But chosen one, know that God's plans are always good, always full of hope, and always leading you to your highest good. Trust in His perfect timing. Trust in His perfect guidance, and trust that He has already prepared the way for you. This is your moment to step into the new with boldness and confidence, knowing that God is with you every step of the way. It's also essential to recognize that this moment of transition will not always feel easy. You may experience fear, uncertainty, and doubt as you begin to move forward. The unknown can be intimidating, and the temptation to retreat back to what feels comfortable will be strong. But chosen one, it is precisely in the unknown that God works His most powerful miracles. It is in stepping into the unknown with faith that you will see God move in ways you never imagined. As you recognize the moment of transition, remember that this is not just about moving forward, it's about moving forward with purpose. God is not calling you to a random path. He is calling you to a path that is filled with purpose, meaning, and divine blessing. Trust that every step you take on this new path is part of His divine plan, leading you to the fulfillment of your destiny. So, chosen one, recognize the moment of transition. Trust in God's timing. Listen to His guidance and step boldly into the new path that He has prepared for you. This is your divine moment. Don't let fear or doubt hold you back. The future is bright, and it is waiting for you. The power of letting go is one of the most profound and liberating aspects of stepping into a new path. As humans, we tend to hold on to what is familiar even when it no longer serves us. We hold on to old patterns, relationships, fears, and beliefs, not realizing that these very things can become chains that bind us to the past. Chosen one, for the big change to take place, there is a divine invitation to let go. Let go of what was so that you can step fully into what God is preparing for you. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or disregarding the past. It means releasing the grip it has on your present and future. The past has shaped you, yes, but it does not define you. You are not meant to live in the shadows of your past mistakes, your past pain, or your past disappointments. You are meant to walk forward, stepping into the fullness of the divine purpose God has for your life. But to do that, you must release what is holding you back. God is calling you to release the old in order to make room for the new. This release can be challenging, especially when the old ways, even the painful ones, have become familiar. We often find comfort in what is known, even when it no longer serves us. But holding on to the past keeps us stuck. It keeps us from experiencing the fullness of what God has in store. The Lord is inviting you, chosen one, to trust Him with your past. He promises that He will redeem everything that has been lost or broken, and that the future He has for you is far greater than anything you've left behind. When we let go, we open ourselves up to God's healing and restoration. We allow Him to step into the spaces that were once filled with fear, regret, or hurt. Letting go of control means trusting that God knows what is best for us, even when we don't understand why things happened the way they did. It's in this trust that we experience true freedom. Freedom from the weight of regret. Freedom from the chains of our past mistakes. And freedom to step into the new life God has prepared for us. One of the most important things to let go of is fear. Fear can keep us bound to the past, causing us to hesitate in taking the steps that lead to transformation. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of disappointment. All these fears can paralyze us, keeping us stuck in what's familiar and comfortable. But chosen one, God has not given you a spirit of fear. He has given you a spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:7. When you let go of fear and choose to trust in God's perfect plan, you release yourself from the limitations that fear places on your life. Letting go of fear also means stepping out in faith. Faith is the antidote to fear. When you choose to trust God's promises, you choose to walk in confidence, knowing that He is with you every step of the way. The path ahead may be unclear, but with faith you know that God is guiding you, leading you towards something greater than you could ever imagine. As you release your fear, you embrace the new opportunities that are waiting for you, opportunities that will lead you closer to God's purpose for your life. Another important thing to release is unforgiveness. Holding on to resentment, anger, or bitterness from past hurts keeps us emotionally and spiritually bound. It prevents us from fully stepping into the new path that God is calling us to. God's invitation is clear: forgive as He has forgiven you. Releasing the hurt and the need for revenge allows God to heal your heart and makes room for His peace to enter. Forgiveness is not about excusing the wrong done to you. It is about releasing the hold that it has on you. It's about choosing healing and freedom instead of being bound by the past. Letting go of past hurts and grudges is also essential for moving forward in divine transformation. As you release the emotional weight of these past wounds, you make space for God to pour His love and grace into your life. The freedom that comes from forgiveness is not only a release from the past, but it is also a release into the future. You are now free to step forward, unburdened, and fully open to the new path God is leading you on. Finally, letting go means releasing control. The need to control every aspect of your life can keep you stuck in a cycle of anxiety and frustration. Surrendering control to God allows you to trust that He knows what's best for you, even when the path ahead seems uncertain. Surrender is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of strength, because it takes courage to let go and trust in something greater than ourselves. As you release your need to control you, open yourself up to God's perfect plan and timing. Choosing to let go is an act of faith and trust. It is the divine invitation to step forward into the unknown, confident that God is leading you towards something better. Letting go of the old, the limiting and the painful, makes room for the new, the divine and the restorative. God is asking you to trust Him with your past, to surrender your fears, and to release what no longer serves you, so that you can fully embrace the transformation He has prepared for you. So, chosen one, let go today. Let go of the fear, the unforgiveness, the regrets, and the need for control. Trust that God is leading you towards something greater. As you let go, you make space for God's restoration, healing, and transformation. Your new path awaits, chosen one. Step forward in faith, knowing that the best is yet to come. Remember, chosen one, that letting go is not about losing, it is about gaining. By releasing what no longer serves you, you make room for God to fill your life with His divine purpose and love. Trust Him with your past, and He will lead you into a future full of restoration and transformation. Divine guidance in times of change is your compass, chosen one. When change is upon you, it can often feel like you're walking into the unknown, like stepping out into an unfamiliar landscape with no map or clear direction. The uncertainty of the new path can stir up fear and confusion, making you wonder if you're truly prepared for the journey ahead. But chosen one, rest assured, divine guidance is always available to you. God is a faithful guide, and He has promised to lead you through every season of life, especially the seasons of transition. In moments of transition, it is crucial to remember that God's guidance does not always come in a loud voice or dramatic signs. Sometimes it comes as a quiet whisper, a gentle nudge in your spirit that tells you to trust, to step forward, and to move with faith. Other times it may come through scripture, a word spoken by a friend, or a sudden deep peace that settles in your heart when you take the next step. The key to recognizing God's guidance is to stay attuned to His voice, to quiet the noise around you, and to listen for His direction. Psalm 32:8 promises us, "I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you." These words are a beautiful reminder that God is not distant or detached during our times of change. He is with us, watching over us, guiding us with His loving eye. His instruction is not harsh or condemning, but full of love, grace, and wisdom. When you feel lost or unsure, know that God is already ahead of you, preparing the way. His guidance will be steady, unwavering, and always available if you choose to seek it. In times of change, one of the most essential steps is to release your own plans and trust in God's will. The human tendency is to want to control the situation, to map out every detail, and to ensure that everything aligns with our desires. But often, the divine path is not what we expect. God's plans are far greater than our own, and His vision for our lives is infinitely more expansive than we can comprehend. Choosing to let go of your own timeline and expectations opens you to the guidance of God, who knows exactly what you need, even when you don't. You may not see the entire path laid out before you, and that's okay. Faith is about trusting that each step you take is ordered by God, even when you can't see the next one clearly. When you follow His guidance, you may only see the path right in front of you, but that's all you need. Trust that as you walk forward, He will reveal the next steps, and He will equip you for whatever comes next. The beauty of God's guidance is that you don't have to have everything figured out. You simply have to trust Him with what you know and let Him guide you into the unknown. Another crucial aspect of receiving divine guidance is prayer. Prayer is the lifeline that connects us directly to God, and it is through prayer that we seek His will, receive His peace, and find direction for our lives. When faced with uncertainty, prayer becomes your anchor. It is in prayer that you ask for wisdom, discernment, and clarity. It is in prayer that you release your fears and doubts and invite God's perfect peace to fill your heart. And it is in prayer that you hear God's voice, often through a still, quiet moment, reminding you that He is with you, leading you, and guiding you on this new path. God's guidance will also often come through others. As you step into this new season of your life, you may find that God places certain people in your path, mentors, friends, or even strangers who offer wisdom, encouragement, or direction. Divine guidance is not always just an internal, personal experience. It is often reinforced through the people God sends into our lives to help us navigate the changes ahead. Be open to the counsel of others, chosen one. God speaks through many different channels, and He can use the voices of those around you to direct you toward His will. The challenge of trusting God's guidance, however, comes in moments of doubt and fear. It's easy to trust God when the path is clear and the way is smooth. But what about when the path is rocky, when the future feels uncertain, and when every step feels like a leap of faith? This is where the power of trust comes into play. Trusting God's guidance doesn't mean that everything will be easy. It means that you choose to follow Him even when you don't understand the journey. Trusting God's guidance is a decision to step forward even when you don't see the full picture, knowing that He has already gone before you. Remember that God's guidance doesn't always lead to immediate success or perfection. Sometimes the path is winding and it requires patience and perseverance. Sometimes the steps forward are small and the progress may feel slow. But chosen one, know that God's guidance is always leading you toward growth, toward greater faith, and toward divine fulfillment. The journey may not always be easy, but it will always be worth it. As you step into the new path that God is leading you toward, remember that His guidance is a steady, unwavering presence in your life. Trust in His plan, trust in His timing, and trust that He is guiding you toward a future that is full of purpose, peace, and divine opportunity. So, chosen one, trust in God's guidance as you step into the new path ahead. He is with you every step of the way, and His loving eye is always on you. You don't have to know every detail, just trust that He will lead you, protect you, and bring you into the fullness of His divine plan for your life. Embracing new beginnings is one of the most powerful acts of faith you can take as you step into a new season. It's easy to hold on to what is familiar, even when it no longer serves us. The familiar comforts us. It feels safe. But chosen one, stepping into the unknown, requires a willingness to embrace the new, to trust that the divine opportunities ahead are far greater than the comfort of the past. When God calls you to a new path, He is calling you to embrace new beginnings, to step forward into the fullness of what He has prepared for you. New beginnings often come with a sense of excitement, but they can also bring fear. Change, after all, is inherently uncertain. The future is a blank page, and you may feel like you are standing at the edge of something vast and unknown. But chosen one, The power of new beginnings lies in the trust you place in God's hands. When you step forward into the new with faith, you are declaring that you believe in God's plan for you, that you trust He will guide you, and that you are willing to follow Him wherever He leads. One of the first steps in embracing new beginnings is releasing your attachment to the past. We often hold on to the past because it feels secure. The old ways, even though they may no longer bring us fulfillment, are comfortable and familiar. But to step into the new, you must be willing to let go of the old. This doesn't mean forgetting the lessons of the past or disregarding the memories that shaped you, but it means choosing to move forward in faith, trusting that God has something better in store. Holding on to the past keeps us rooted in what was. It prevents us from growing, from experiencing the fullness of what God has for us. God is not calling you to stay stuck in the past. He is calling you to move forward with confidence into what is ahead. This is the moment where you are being invited to trust His perfect timing. The future that God has for you is full of promise, but to step into it, you must release the fears, doubts, and attachments that are keeping you bound. As you embrace the new, you will begin to see the blessings that God has prepared for you, blessings that could never have come if you had remained in the comfort of the old. Embracing new beginnings also means letting go of fear. Fear often holds us back from stepping into the new, from trusting God with the unknown. The fear of failure, of disappointment, of not being enough. These are the fears that keep us tethered to the past, preventing us from stepping boldly into the future. But God is calling you to embrace new beginnings with courage. Trust that He has already prepared the way, and that His plan for you is good. Fear may arise, but know that with each step of faith you are walking in God's power, not your own. His strength is made perfect in your weakness, and when you trust Him, He will provide everything you need to walk the new path ahead. It's important to understand that new beginnings often come with challenges. When we step into something new, there are always hurdles to overcome: uncertainty, self-doubt, and moments of fear. But these challenges are not obstacles. They are part of the process of growth. They are stepping stones that will lead you toward the fulfillment of your divine purpose. As you embrace the new, God will give you the strength and wisdom you need to navigate the challenges. And with each challenge you overcome, you will become stronger, more resilient, and more aligned with God's will. In embracing new beginnings, you are also opening yourself to new opportunities. God has created you for a purpose, and that purpose often unfolds through new experiences. The new path that God is leading you to is full of divine opportunities, opportunities for growth, service, and fulfillment. When you step into the new, you are not just walking into the unknown, you are walking into a future that is filled with potential. God has already prepared the way for you, and He will open doors that no one can shut. This new beginning is not just about change, it is about growth. It is about becoming the person God has called you to be, stepping into the fullness of your divine potential. The future that God has for you is far greater than anything you have left behind. Embrace this new season with faith and confidence, knowing that God is with you, guiding you and empowering you to walk in His purpose. Trust, chosen one, that the new beginning you are stepping into is part of a divine plan. This is the moment you have been waiting for. It may feel daunting, it may feel uncertain, but know that God has already gone ahead of you preparing the way. This new beginning is not something to fear, it is something to embrace. You are being called to step into the future with hope, with trust, and with the knowledge that God's plans for you are good. So, chosen one, I encourage you to embrace the new beginning with open arms. Let go of what no longer serves you and step forward with faith. Know that God is leading you to a future full of blessings, opportunities, and divine fulfillment. The best is yet to come, and it starts with this new beginning. Remember, chosen one, that God's plans for you are always good. Embrace this new beginning step into the future He has prepared, and trust that every step you take is part of His divine plan for your life. The strength to overcome doubt is a divine gift that you must lean into as you step into the new path ahead. Doubt is a natural human response when faced with change, especially when that change takes you into uncharted territory. The fear of the unknown, the uncertainty of the future, and the internal voice that questions your ability to succeed are all part of the human experience. However chosen one you are, not called to live in doubt. The Lord has equipped you with the strength to overcome it, and He is calling you to walk in the full confidence of His promise. Doubt can feel like an anchor holding you back and preventing you from taking the steps forward that God is calling you to. It whispers lies, convincing you that you are not capable, that you are not worthy, or that you are not prepared for what lies ahead. But chosen one, these are lies from the enemy. God has already equipped you with everything you need to succeed in this new season. The doubt that tries to paralyze you is not from God. It is a tool used by the enemy to keep you from stepping into the abundant life that God has promised you. The key to overcoming doubt is faith. Faith is the antidote to doubt. It is the firm belief that God is who He says He is, and that He will do what He says He will do. Faith is trusting that even when the road ahead is unclear, God is leading you towards something good. When you place your faith in God, you replace doubt with divine confidence. This confidence doesn't come from your own strength or abilities, but from the trust that God is in control, that He is guiding you, and that He will provide for you every step of the way. The Bible is filled with reminders that God is faithful, and that He will never leave us or forsake us. In Hebrews 10:23, we are encouraged to hold unswervingly to the hope we profess, for He who promised is faithful. When doubt creeps in, remember that the God who has brought you this far will continue to guide you and lead you into the new path ahead. He has already gone before you, preparing the way. You do not need to know the entire path, you only need to trust that He will lead you step by step. Another powerful way to overcome doubt is to remember what God has already done in your life. Reflect on the moments when He has come through for you in the past. Remember how He has provided, healed, guided, and protected you. When you recall God's past faithfulness, it strengthens your faith for the future. The same God who has been faithful to you before will be faithful to you in this new season. Doubt cannot stand in the face of God's proven faithfulness. When you look back and see how far you've come, you'll realize that God has been preparing you all along for this moment of change. Overcoming doubt also involves taking action. Faith without works is dead, and the strength to overcome doubt is found in moving forward even when you don't have all the answers. Every step you take in faith diminishes doubt and strengthens your trust in God's plan. The more you step out in faith, the more you see God's hand at work, and the more your confidence grows. As you take each step, you will feel the weight of doubt lifting, replaced by a growing assurance that God is with you, leading you into this new season. One of the most important things to remember in times of doubt is that you are not alone. The Lord is with you every step of the way. He has promised to guide you, protect you, and provide for you. When doubt arises, lean into God's presence. Seek His wisdom in prayer and listen for His still small voice. He will speak peace to your heart and show you the way forward. Doubt may come, but it will not overcome you when you choose to place your trust in God. Chosen one, remember that you are not defined by your doubt, but by your faith in God. Your doubts do not disqualify you from the path ahead. They are simply part of the process. Doubt is a natural reaction to change, but it does not have to control you. With every step of faith you take, doubt is diminished, and your trust in God's guidance grows stronger. As you move forward into the new, know that the Lord is with you, leading you with His wisdom and love. His promise to restore, guide, and equip you is unwavering. When doubt tries to cloud your vision, focus on God's faithfulness. Let His promises replace your doubts and step forward in the confidence that He has already made a way for you. So, chosen one, take heart. When doubt arises, choose faith. Trust that God is with you, guiding you, and preparing you for the new path ahead. Every step you take in faith is a step away from doubt and into the fullness of God's divine purpose for your life. Trusting the divine timing is an essential part of stepping into the new path ahead. In our fast-paced world, where everything seems to move at the speed of light, it's easy to become impatient, to want the change to happen now, and to try to rush God's perfect plan for our lives. But chosen one, the timing of God is always perfect. He knows exactly when the right moment will come for you to step into the new season He has prepared. Trusting in His timing means surrendering your own schedule, your own expectations, and allowing God to lead you at His pace, knowing that His ways are always higher and better than ours. The divine timing of God is not bound by human constraints. What may feel like a delay or a setback to you is often God's way of preparing you for what's ahead. He is making sure that you are fully equipped, that your heart is ready, and that the circumstances around you are aligned in a way that will allow for the greatest impact. What feels like waiting is actually God's way of refining you, preparing you, and orchestrating every detail of your life so that when the time comes, you will be ready to step forward into the fullness of His plan. Psalm 27:14 encourages us with these words: "Wait for the Lord, be strong and take heart, and wait for the Lord." Waiting on God is not passive, it is an active trust, a decision to rest in the assurance that God is at work even when we cannot see the results immediately. While we may not understand the delays or the waiting periods, we can trust that God is never idle. He is always working behind the scenes, orchestrating the perfect timing for everything in our lives. When we trust in God's divine timing, we acknowledge that His timing is always right, even when we don't understand it. His timing is not determined by our clocks or calendars. It is shaped by His love, His wisdom, and His perfect plan for us. God is never early, and He is never late. He is always right on time. This means that when you feel like the change you've been waiting for is taking too long, it's simply because God is aligning everything to be in perfect harmony with His plan for you. Waiting on God can be difficult because it often involves periods of uncertainty, of not knowing when or how the change will happen. You may feel like you're standing still, waiting for the next step to reveal itself. But remember, chosen one, that this time of waiting is not wasted. It is a time for preparation, for reflection, and for trusting that God is setting the stage for your transformation. During this waiting period, God is teaching you patience, trust, and reliance on Him. It is in the waiting that you learn to lean fully into God's presence, to seek His guidance, and to strengthen your relationship with Him. Sometimes God's divine timing means that you must endure seasons of trial or struggle before the breakthrough comes. It can feel as though the waiting is never ending, but in those moments, remember that God is using your current circumstances to build your faith. He is teaching you to trust Him, not in the easy moments, but in the difficult ones. He is building your character, refining your heart, and preparing you to step into the new season with strength and confidence. One of the most beautiful aspects of trusting in God's timing is that it eliminates the need for comparison. It's easy to look at others and wonder why they seem to be advancing faster while you feel stuck or behind. But God's plan for your life is unique. He is working things out for you in ways that are tailored specifically to your needs and calling. The change that is coming for you will happen in God's perfect timing, and it will be just right for the person you are becoming. There is no need to compare your journey with anyone else's. Trust that your path is being guided by a loving and faithful Father, and that His timing is always aligned with what is best for you. Trusting in God's timing also means releasing control over the outcome. Often we want to dictate the terms of our transformation. We want the change to happen on our schedule in the way we envision it. But God's ways are so much better than ours. His timing is perfect because He sees the big picture while we only see what is right in front of us. When we trust Him, we allow Him to lead us according to His perfect will, knowing that the outcome will be far better than anything we could have planned on our own. As you step into the new path that God has prepared, trust that the timing is exactly right. The struggles, the waiting, and the seasons of challenge were not in vain. They were part of the preparation for what is coming next. The big change is coming, and it is perfectly timed. You are exactly where you need to be right now. When the time is right, God will open the door to the new path, and you will step forward into the next season of your life with full confidence, knowing that He has been preparing you for this moment all along. So, chosen one, take comfort in knowing that God's timing is perfect. Trust that He is leading you through this season of waiting, and that the change you are stepping into will come at the right time. The Lord's hand is on your life, and He will guide you through every step of the journey. Rest in the assurance that God is always at work and that He will bring about the perfect timing for everything you need. Remember, chosen one, that God's timing is always right. Trust in His plan, trust in His wisdom, and rest in the knowledge that He is leading you to something greater. The change is coming, and it will be exactly as it should be. Aligning with God's vision for your future is one of the most important and transformative steps you can take as you step into the new path ahead. It's easy to get distracted by the noise of the world, the expectations, the opinions, and the pressures that seek to define who you are and what you should do. But chosen one, God has a unique and divine vision for your life, one that is crafted specifically for you, and it is vital that you align your heart, mind, and actions with His perfect plan. When you align yourself with God's vision, you allow Him to lead you in the direction He has set for you. This is where true fulfillment and purpose come from, not from following the world's standards, but from following God's call for your life. God's vision is always aligned with His divine purpose for you, and it is through aligning with it that you will experience the joy, peace, and contentment that come from living a life in accordance with His will. It's important to understand that God's vision for your life is far greater than anything you can imagine. His plans for you are not just about what you do, but about who you become. God is interested not only in the destination, but in the journey. He is shaping you, refining you, and preparing you for a life that reflects His glory. Aligning with God's vision means trusting that His way is the best way, even when it doesn't make sense in the moment. It's about surrendering your own desires, your own plans, and choosing to follow the path He has set before you. One of the most beautiful things about aligning with God's vision is that it gives you clarity. The world can be confusing, and the many paths available can seem overwhelming. But when you seek God's guidance, He provides clarity and direction. Proverbs 3:5-6 tells us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." When you submit to God's vision for your life, you are trusting that He will guide you, that He will direct your steps, and that He will show you the way forward. This trust leads to peace, knowing that you are following the divine path, even if you can't always see the next step clearly. Aligning with God's vision also requires surrender. You must surrender your own plans, your own agenda, and your own timing to God. It's easy to want to rush ahead, to force things to happen according to your own timeline, but God's timing is perfect. Sometimes His vision for your life takes a different route than you expected, and you may face delays, detours, or seasons of waiting. But in those moments, you are learning to trust His timing and His ways, knowing that He is leading you exactly where you need to be. Trust that every delay and every detour is part of the divine plan, preparing you for the next step. Surrendering to God's vision doesn't mean that you will never face challenges or hardships. In fact, the road ahead may not always be smooth or easy, but chosen one, the beauty of aligning with God's vision is that even in the midst of challenges, you can be certain that He is with you, guiding you and strengthening you. His presence is your constant companion, and His promises are your anchor. No matter what obstacles you face, you can trust that God will equip you with everything you need to overcome them and to walk in the fullness of His vision for your life. Aligning with God's vision also means being open to change. The journey ahead may require you to step out of your comfort zone, to take risks, and to embrace the unknown. God's vision for your life may look very different from what you expected, and it may lead you to places you never thought you'd go. But chosen one, when you align yourself with His vision, you will discover that the changes, the challenges, and the new paths are all part of His divine plan to make you more like Him and to lead you to the life He has destined for you. Another key aspect of aligning with God's vision is having the courage to step out in faith. Sometimes the vision God has for us may feel too big, too impossible, or too overwhelming. It's easy to look at the challenges ahead and wonder how you could ever be prepared. But chosen one, God has equipped you with everything you need for the journey. He has placed His Spirit within you, and He has given you the gifts, talents, and resources to fulfill His vision for your life. The question is not whether you are capable, it is whether you are willing to trust Him and step out in faith even when the path ahead seems uncertain. As you align with God's vision, you will also experience a deep sense of fulfillment and purpose. When you are living in alignment with His will, everything falls into place. You will find joy in the journey, even when it's difficult, and peace in knowing that you are following the path that God has set before you. This is the true meaning of success, not worldly achievements or recognition, but the peace and fulfillment that comes from living a life in perfect alignment with God's will. So, chosen one, I encourage you to align your heart and mind with God's vision for your life. Trust that His plan is perfect, that His timing is flawless, and that He is leading you to a future filled with purpose, peace, and joy. Surrender your own plans. Trust in His guidance and step forward in faith, knowing that every step you take is part of the divine journey He has prepared for you. Remember, chosen one, that God's vision for your life is greater than anything you can imagine. Trust in His guidance, align your heart with His will, and step boldly into the future He has prepared for you. Your divine purpose is unfolding before you, and God is leading you every step of the way. The power of faith and action go hand in hand when stepping into the new path ahead. Faith is essential, but it is only fully realized through action. God calls us to trust in His promises, but He also invites us to move in alignment with His will. This means that while we wait for divine direction, we must also take active steps forward, trusting that as we move, God will continue to guide us. Faith without action is incomplete. It's easy to say we trust in God's plan, but true faith is demonstrated when we step out in courage, even when the path is unclear. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast unknown with no map, no clear guide. It is in those moments that faith becomes more than just a feeling, it becomes a choice. A choice to trust that God is leading you to something greater even when you cannot see the way. And as you take steps, God reveals more of the path, lighting the way for your feet. James 2:17 reminds us, in the same way, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. This means that while faith is the foundation, action is what brings that faith to life. It's the courage to take the first step even when you feel unsure. It's the willingness to move forward despite the doubts and fears. God is asking you to trust Him with your whole heart, and that trust is shown through your willingness to act, to move, and to walk in the direction He is guiding you. Faith and action also work together to combat the fear that often arises when stepping into the unknown. Fear tells us to wait for perfect clarity, to be absolutely certain before we move. But faith tells us to step forward even when we can't see the entire picture. When you take action in faith, you confront your fears and trust that God will equip you with everything you need. God never asks you to walk alone. He promises to walk with you every step of the way, empowering you to move forward in His strength. Action also affirms your faith. When you take steps toward the future that God has prepared for you, you are not only trusting Him, but you are also expressing your belief in His promises. Each step you take is an act of faith, a declaration that you trust in God's plan. Action demonstrates your willingness to partner with God, to step into the life He has designed for you, and to believe that He is working everything for your good. The more you step forward, the more your faith grows, and the more God's purpose for your life becomes clear. This partnership between faith and action is not always easy, especially when the path is uncertain or difficult. It takes courage to step out when you don't know exactly where you're going or what will happen. But chosen one, it is in these moments that God does His most powerful work. As you step into the unknown with faith, God opens doors, clears obstacles, and shows you the way. It is through your action that God moves. Your faith activates His power to bring about the change you desire. One of the most beautiful aspects of the faith-action partnership is that God meets you where you are. He doesn't expect perfection. He doesn't expect you to have everything figured out before you move. What He desires is a heart willing to trust and a willingness to take the first step. When you move, even in uncertainty, God blesses that movement and uses it for His purpose. No step of faith is wasted. No action is insignificant. Every small step is part of the grand plan He has for your life. Remember, chosen one, that action is not about striving or forcing your will into existence. It is about aligning your actions with God's leading. It's about moving in harmony with His timing, His purpose, and His plan. As you take each step, trust that God is guiding you and providing what you need. He is the one who will give you strength, wisdom, and courage for the journey ahead. You are not walking alone. He is with you, and every step you take in faith brings you closer to the fulfillment of His divine purpose. Faith and action work together to bring transformation. As you move forward, you will see the changes that God is making in your life. You will feel your faith growing stronger, your heart becoming more aligned with His will, and your life more aligned with His purpose. The more you act in faith, the more you will experience His transformative power. So, chosen one, take that first step. Trust that God is guiding you and move forward in faith. The path ahead may not always be clear, but know that every step you take in faith is a step toward the fulfillment of His promises. As you act in trust, you will witness the power of God's divine plan unfold before you. The big change is coming, and it is through faith and action that you will step into the new path ahead. Remember, chosen one, that faith without action is incomplete. Step forward, trust in God's leading, and take the actions necessary to walk into the future He has prepared for you. With every step, your faith will grow, and God's power will be made evident in your life. Strength in surrendering control is one of the most powerful tools for transformation. We often find ourselves in the midst of change and wonder why things aren't moving according to our plan. We try to control the situation, push for answers, and rush the process, hoping to see the outcome sooner. However, chosen one, true transformation comes when we surrender our need for control and trust that God's plan is unfolding exactly as it should. Surrendering control does not mean giving up on your desires or abandoning your dreams. Rather, it means allowing God to take the lead, trusting that His way is better than our own. Surrender is an act of faith. It is the decision to release your grasp on the future and trust that God is already at work even when you can't see it. The desire to control often stems from fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of losing control over your life. But chosen one, God does not give us a spirit of fear, but one of power, love, and a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:7. When you surrender control, you let go of the fear and open yourself up to God's peace and direction. One of the most profound aspects of surrendering control is that it opens up space for God to work. When we hold on tightly to our own plans and desires, we block the flow of God's grace and guidance in our lives. But when we release control, we make room for God to step in and do what only He can do. Surrendering control allows God to move in ways we could never anticipate, leading us to places of greater fulfillment, joy, and purpose. Surrendering control also means acknowledging that God's timing is perfect. When we try to control the timing of events, we can become frustrated or anxious when things don't happen as quickly as we want. We may question why God is taking so long or why certain things haven't yet fallen into place. But trust, chosen one, that God's timing is always right. He sees the big picture, and He knows the exact moment when everything will fall into place. When you surrender control, you trust that His timing is perfect and that He is working behind the scenes to align everything for your good. Another important aspect of surrendering control is giving up the need for certainty. It's easy to want to know exactly what will happen next, to have a clear roadmap for your life. But often God asks us to step forward without knowing the full picture, trusting that He will reveal the next step when the time is right. This requires a deep trust in God's ability to lead you even when you can't see the way ahead. Surrendering control means embracing uncertainty and trusting that God's path is the one you are meant to walk. Surrender also brings peace. When we are trying to control every aspect of our lives, it creates a constant sense of tension and anxiety. We feel the weight of responsibility on our shoulders, and we become overwhelmed by the pressure to make everything work out. But when we surrender control, we give up the burden of trying to make everything happen and allow God to carry that weight for us. The peace that comes from surrender is not a peace that comes from understanding the outcome, but a peace that comes from trusting that God is in control. It's important to recognize that surrender does not mean passivity. Surrendering control is not about sitting back and doing nothing. It is about being actively obedient to God's leading. It's about following where He leads, even when the path is unclear, and trusting that He will provide everything you need. You are still called to take action, to step forward in faith, but that action comes from a place of surrender, not from a place of striving. Surrendering control also involves letting go of the need to fix things. We often want to control every outcome, to manage every situation, and to make sure everything turns out the way we envision. But chosen one, God doesn't need us to fix anything. He is the great healer, the restorer, the redeemer. When we try to fix things on our own, we often find ourselves frustrated and exhausted. But when we surrender control, we release the need to fix and allow God to work in His perfect way. Through surrender, you will find freedom. Freedom from fear, from worry, from the burden of control. You will find peace in knowing that God is leading you, that He is orchestrating every detail, and that you are not alone in the process. Surrendering control opens you up to the fullness of God's love and His perfect plans for your life. So, chosen one, surrender your need to control. Trust that God's timing is perfect and that His plans for you are greater than you can imagine. Release the burden of trying to manage everything and allow God to take the lead. The transformation you are experiencing will only be fully realized when you let go of control and trust that God is guiding you towards something far greater than you could have ever planned for yourself. Remember, chosen one, that surrender is not weakness, it is strength. When you let go of control, you make room for God to work in your life in ways you never imagined. Trust Him with your path, your future, and your dreams. He will lead you to a place of peace, purpose, and divine fulfillment. Healing from past hurts to step forward is essential when transitioning into a new season of life. It's easy to carry the weight of past wounds, hurt from relationships, disappointments, failures, and regrets into the future. These wounds, though painful, can sometimes feel like they define us, shaping how we view ourselves, others, and the world around us. However, chosen one, God's healing is greater than the sum of your past hurts. His restoration can lift the burden of past pain and allow you to move forward with a heart that is whole and free, fully prepared to embrace the new opportunities He has prepared for you. Healing is a divine process. It doesn't happen overnight, nor is it always linear. There will be days when you feel stronger, days when you feel like you've taken steps backward, and days when you feel the weight of the past pressing down again. But chosen one, understand that healing is not about erasing the past, it's about God redeeming it. He takes the hurt, the disappointment, and the wounds, and He transforms them into something beautiful, something that reflects His love and grace. The scars of your past do not have to remain as marks of pain. They can become testimonies of God's faithfulness. The Bible speaks often of healing, particularly emotional and spiritual healing. In Psalm 147:3 it is written, "He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. This is the promise of God, that He sees your hurt, He understands your pain, and He desires to heal you. Healing may not always look like what you expect. Sometimes it's a slow process, but every step is part of God's divine restoration. He binds up your wounds with His love, replacing them with peace and strength. To begin this healing process, chosen one, you must allow God to touch the broken places within you. This means being vulnerable with God, bringing your pain and hurt to Him in prayer. It means surrendering your wounds to His healing hands and trusting that He will restore what was lost or broken. Healing often requires us to be honest with ourselves and with God about the pain we carry. It requires us to stop hiding behind our fears or our defenses and to allow God to work deep within our hearts. Forgiveness plays a vital role in healing. If you have experienced betrayal, hurt, or injustice, forgiveness can feel impossible. Yet God calls us to forgive, not because the offense is justified, but because forgiveness sets us free. It allows God to heal the hurt we've been holding on to. When we choose to forgive, we release the other person and ourselves from the power that the offense had over our lives. Forgiveness is a powerful act of surrender, and it opens the door for God's peace and healing to enter. Choosing to forgive does not mean forgetting the pain. It means allowing God to redeem it. It means trusting that He will heal the brokenness and replace it with His peace. This process of forgiveness doesn't happen in a single moment. It may take time, and that's okay. But as you move through the process of healing, choose to forgive. Release the past hurt to God, trusting that He will restore your heart and bring healing to your soul. Another key part of healing from past hurts is letting go of shame and guilt. Shame often arises when we feel that we are defined by our mistakes or our past actions. We may think that we are unworthy of healing, unworthy of God's love and forgiveness. But chosen one, God's grace is greater than your shame. His love is unconditional, and His forgiveness is complete. When you come to God with a repentant heart, He does not hold your past against you. He forgives you, heals you, and offers you a fresh start. Release the shame that keeps you from moving forward and allow God to replace it with His truth, that you are His beloved child, worthy of love, grace, and healing. Healing from past hurts also involves allowing God to rebuild your trust in Him and in others. Past wounds can create walls in our hearts, walls that prevent us from fully trusting God's love or the love of those around us. These walls, though created to protect us, often keep us isolated and alone. God wants to rebuild your trust not only in Him, but also in the relationships that are meant to support and encourage you. This doesn't mean that every relationship will be without hurt or conflict, but it does mean that God can heal the wounds that have made you hesitant to trust. Through His love and His restoration, He will rebuild the trust that has been broken. Healing also requires you to make the decision to move forward. It's easy to become stuck in the past, to remain focused on what happened and how you were hurt. But God is calling you to step forward, to look ahead, and to trust that He is making all things new. Healing does not mean that the pain of the past will never resurface. It means that you no longer allow it to define you or control your future. You are free to step into the new path that God has set before you, unburdened by the pain of the past, as you embrace the healing process. Chosen one, remember that God is with you. He is walking beside you every step of the way, guiding you, comforting you, and restoring your soul. His healing is not just for the moment. It is a lasting transformation that will carry you into the future He has prepared for you. Your past hurts are not the end of your story. They are part of the testimony of God's goodness and faithfulness. So, chosen one, allow God to heal your heart today. Surrender your past hurts to Him. Choose forgiveness, release shame, and trust that He will make you whole again. The healing process may take time, but trust that God is working in you, and He will lead you into the fullness of His restoration. Overcoming resistance to change is one of the most profound challenges in the process of stepping into a new path. Change, no matter how necessary or divine, often brings with it feelings of fear, doubt, and reluctance. The comfort of the known, even when it's not serving us, can seem safer than the uncertainty of the unknown. But chosen one, resistance to change keeps you trapped in cycles that hinder your growth and transformation. It's in those moments of resistance that God's strength is most evident, when we choose to trust Him and take the step forward despite our fears. Resistance often arises from a place of fear. Fear of failure, fear of the unknown, or fear of not being able to handle what lies ahead. Change requires us to step outside our comfort zones and trust that God will equip us for the journey. It's natural to want to stay where it feels familiar and secure, but the growth that comes from embracing change is what ultimately leads to greater freedom, peace, and fulfillment. The Lord is not asking you to embrace change blindly. He is asking you to trust Him as He leads you through it. Psalm 34:4 reminds us, "I sought the Lord, and He answered me. He delivered me from all my fears." This promise is for you, chosen one. When you face resistance to change, God's perfect love will cast out the fear that seeks to hold you back. When you trust in Him, you will find the courage to move forward, knowing that He is the one who is leading you, protecting you, and equipping you every step of the way. One of the key reasons we resist change is because we fear what we might lose. We hold on tightly to the past, to the things that are familiar, even if they no longer bring us joy or peace. But chosen one, holding on to what is familiar, prevents us from stepping into the new that God has for us. The divine plan for your life is far greater than anything you can imagine. The changes ahead may require you to let go of old habits, relationships, and even mindsets that no longer serve you. But the beauty of this process is that God is making room for something better, something that is aligned with His purpose for your life. Embracing change requires trust. Trust that God knows what is best for you, even when it's hard to see the full picture. Change often comes with uncertainty, and it's in these moments that faith becomes most powerful. It's easy to trust when things are comfortable, but true faith is built when we step into the unknown, trusting that God is leading us even when the path is unclear. Just as Abraham was called to leave everything familiar and step into the unknown, so too are you called to step forward in faith. Trust that God will guide you, provide for you, and equip you for everything that lies ahead. Sometimes resistance to change also comes from the belief that we are not ready, not capable, or not worthy of what God is calling us to. The truth, chosen one, is that you are more than capable because God is with you. His power is made perfect in your weakness. When you feel unprepared or unsure, remember that God equips those He calls. He has already placed everything you need within you to walk in the fullness of His purpose for your life. The resistance you feel is not a reflection of your inability. It is simply a challenge for you to trust God more fully and step into His strength. Another reason we resist change is because of the fear of failure. The unknown can feel intimidating, and the thought of stepping out and failing can keep us stuck. But chosen one failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the process of growth. God does not call you to succeed by your own strength. He calls you to trust Him and walk in obedience. Success, according to God's definition, is not about perfection. It is about faithfulness. God's plan for your life will not fail because He is the one directing your steps. The failures you experience are not the end. They are opportunities for growth, learning, and reliance on God's grace. Resistance to change can also be rooted in our attachment to comfort. The new path ahead may require sacrifice, effort, and discomfort. But chosen one, the comfort that you cling to is temporary. The change that God is calling you to is eternal. The sacrifice you make in stepping forward in faith will be worth it because it leads to a life of greater purpose, fulfillment, and divine alignment. God's plan for your life is far better than the temporary comforts of staying in the familiar. One of the most powerful ways to overcome resistance to change is to embrace the new with gratitude. Gratitude shifts our perspective from fear to faith. When we focus on the blessings that God has already given us, we begin to see the change not as a threat, but as an opportunity for growth. Gratitude opens our hearts to the new things God is doing, and it prepares us to embrace the change with joy. As you move forward, choose to focus on the opportunities that lie ahead, knowing that God is using every change for your good. Trust, chosen one, that God has already gone before you, preparing the way. He has equipped you for the journey, and He is with you every step of the way. The resistance you feel is not stronger than the power of God. It is simply an opportunity to lean more fully into His strength, to trust more deeply in His timing, and to walk in obedience to His call. So, chosen one, acknowledge the resistance, but don't let it hold you back. Step forward in faith, knowing that God is with you, guiding you, and empowering you to embrace the change ahead. Trust that the path He is leading you to is full of divine opportunities, and know that He is preparing you for something far greater than you've ever known. Remember, chosen one, that resistance to change is simply part of the process. Trust in God's plan, lean into His strength, and step forward into the new path He has prepared for you. With each step, you will experience the peace, joy, and fulfillment of walking in God's divine will. Celebrating your growth and transformation is an essential step in stepping into the new path ahead. It's easy to become so focused on what's next, on the future, and all the things you still need to accomplish that you forget to take a moment to recognize how far you've come. Chosen one, this journey of transformation that you've been walking, whether you've noticed it or not, has already shaped you, refined you, and prepared you for the divine plan that is unfolding before you. Before moving too quickly into the next chapter, it's important to pause, reflect, and celebrate the growth that has already taken place. Celebrating your growth isn't about boasting or focusing on yourself, but about recognizing and honoring the work that God has done in your life. When you stop and look at where you started, the obstacles you've overcome, and the lessons you've learned, you'll see that the transformation is more profound than you may have realized. Each step of faith, each choice to trust God, each victory over doubt and fear, all of these moments have contributed to the person you are becoming. Celebrating your growth is about giving God the glory for His work in you and recognizing that your journey is leading you exactly where you need to be. Psalm 126:3 says, "The Lord has done great things for us, and we are filled with joy." This is a reminder to celebrate not only the blessings that lie ahead, but also the work God has already done in your life. The transformation that is happening is not a random process. It is the hand of God shaping you into the person He has always called you to be. By celebrating your growth, you acknowledge the faithfulness of God and give Him credit for the work He has done in you. Celebrating your growth also means acknowledging the difficulties you've faced and the resilience you've gained through them. You've walked through hardship, pain, and loss, and each of those moments has shaped your character and deepened your faith. These struggles were not wasted. They were tools in God's hands used to refine and strengthen you. It's easy to focus on the pain and forget that each challenge was an opportunity for growth. Celebrate the strength you've gained from enduring hardship and thank God for the ways He has carried you through. Another aspect of celebrating growth is recognizing the new perspectives and wisdom you've gained along the way. As you step into the new, you bring with you the lessons of the past, the experiences, the relationships, the wisdom that will help you navigate what's ahead. You are not the same person who began this journey, and that is something to celebrate. You've grown in ways that will serve you well as you continue forward. Every lesson learned, every moment of growth is a part of the story that is unfolding. This celebration is not just a moment of looking back, but a recognition that you are ready for what's ahead. Celebrating your growth is an affirmation that you have the strength, the wisdom, and the faith to step into the future. It's a reminder that although the journey has been difficult, it has also prepared you to walk with confidence in the next season of your life. When you celebrate your growth, you affirm that you are ready for what God has in store and that you are more equipped than ever to embrace the change that's coming. In addition, celebrating your growth involves acknowledging the people who have supported you along the way. God has used relationships to help shape and refine you. The people who have walked with you, prayed with you, and encouraged you have played a significant role in your journey. Take time to express gratitude for those who have been part of your transformation. This act of gratitude strengthens those relationships, and reminds you that you are not alone in your journey. God uses people to help us grow, and celebrating this growth is a way to honor those who have stood by your side. Finally, celebrating your growth is a way to honor God and His plan for your life. He has been working in you, shaping you, and preparing you for the next chapter. By celebrating the growth you've experienced, you acknowledge that it is His hand that has led you through every season, and that you are ready to step into the fullness of His plan. It's an act of worship, a way of saying, "Thank you, God, for all that you've done and for all that is to come." So, chosen one, I encourage you to take a moment to celebrate the growth and transformation that has already taken place in your life. Reflect on the struggles you've overcome, the wisdom you've gained, and the strength you've built. Thank God for the journey, for the lessons, and for the ways He has been working in your life. And as you celebrate, look forward to the new path ahead, knowing that you are ready to walk it with confidence and grace. Remember, chosen one, that your growth is a testimony to God's faithfulness. Celebrate how far you've come, honor the work God has done in your life, and step forward into the new path ahead, knowing that you are more than equipped for what is to come. A call to embrace your new identity is a powerful invitation to step into the fullness of who God has created you to be. So often we allow our past, our mistakes, and our struggles to define us, and we forget that in Christ we are made new. The old has passed away, and the new has come. 2 Corinthians chapter 5:17. This is not just a theoretical truth. It is a divine reality that God wants you to embrace fully. As you step into the new path ahead, chosen one, it's time to embrace your new identity, the one that is rooted in God's love, purpose, and promises. Your new identity in Christ is not based on what you've done or what's been done to you. It is not based on the labels the world has placed on you or the mistakes you've made. Your identity is defined by who God says you are. He has called you His beloved child, chosen and dearly loved, redeemed and forgiven, and set apart for His purpose. The change that is unfolding in your life is not just about a new season. It's about becoming the person God has always known you to be. The transformation you are experiencing is not only external, it's a deep, internal shift that aligns you with the truth of who God has called you to be. Embracing your new identity means letting go of the old ways of thinking and living. It means shedding the labels that no longer serve you, labels of failure, shame, fear, and limitation, and stepping into the truth of who God has created you to be. This is the moment to embrace the fullness of your new identity. Chosen one. You are no longer bound by the past. You are free to walk into the future that God has prepared for you, fully equipped with His love, grace, and purpose. One of the most powerful aspects of embracing your new identity is the freedom it brings. When you fully embrace who you are in Christ, you are no longer a slave to the opinions or judgments of others. You are free from the need to prove yourself, from the fear of rejection, and from the weight of past failures. Your identity is secure in God, and it is from this place of security that you can step forward with confidence, knowing that you are exactly who God has made you to be. This freedom enables you to live with authenticity, to pursue God's calling with boldness, and to love others with the same love that God has shown you. Your new identity also comes with a new purpose. God has created you for a specific divine purpose, and embracing your new identity means stepping into that purpose with faith and courage. The plans God has for your life are good, and they are designed to bring glory to His name. As you embrace your new identity, you will begin to see the ways that God is using you to impact the world around you. You will be equipped to serve others, to spread His love, and to fulfill the calling He has placed on your life. It's also important to understand that embracing your new identity requires ongoing renewal. The process of transformation is not a one-time event. It is a continuous journey of becoming more like Christ. Every day you are being renewed in your mind, in your heart, and in your spirit. Romans chapter 12:2. The more you align yourself with God's truth and His Word, the more you will experience the fullness of your new identity. This ongoing renewal is not something you do in your own strength. It is God's work in you, shaping you and molding you to reflect His love and glory more fully. Embracing your new identity also means walking in confidence, knowing that God has already equipped you for what lies ahead. When you embrace the truth of who you are in Christ, you walk with a sense of purpose and confidence, knowing that you are not alone. God has given you everything you need to succeed in the calling He has placed on your life. You are not meant to walk in fear or insecurity. You are meant to walk in the boldness and authority that comes from knowing you are a child of the King. Sometimes embracing your new identity requires a shift in mindset. It means letting go of old patterns of thinking, of negative self-talk, and of limiting beliefs. The world may try to tell you who you should be, but God is the one who defines you. When you embrace the truth of who you are in Christ, you begin to see yourself as God sees you: loved, chosen, capable, and empowered. You begin to align your thoughts with His truth, and you stop allowing the enemy to whisper lies of inadequacy or unworthiness. So, chosen one, I encourage you to embrace your new identity today. Let go of the old ways of thinking and living that have held you back. Step into the fullness of who you are in Christ, knowing that you are loved, accepted, and equipped for every good work that God has prepared for you. Your identity is secure in Him, and with that security comes freedom, purpose, and confidence. You are exactly who God created you to be, and as you embrace your new identity, you will step boldly into the future He has designed for you. Remember, chosen one, that your identity is not defined by your past, your mistakes, or the world's standards. It is defined by who God says you are. Embrace the truth of your new identity in Christ and step forward with confidence into the purpose He has prepared for you. Affirming the path ahead is a final, powerful declaration of the transformation you've undergone and the divine plan that is unfolding before you. As you step into this new season, it is important to speak with confidence about the change that God has already begun. The path ahead may still be uncertain, and the journey may have its challenges, but chosen one, the truth is that the road before you is paved with God's promises and His perfect plans. This is the moment to affirm your faith, to speak life into the future, and to walk forward with unwavering trust in God's guidance. Affirming your path is not just about speaking positive words. It is about declaring God's truth over your life and embracing His vision for you. The words you speak have power, and when you affirm that God is leading you, you are aligning your heart, mind, and actions with His purpose. This affirmation is a declaration that you believe in His promises, that you trust in His timing, and that you are confident that the best is yet to come. Isaiah 55:11 reminds us of the power of God's word. So is my word that goes out from my mouth. It will not return to me empty, but will accomplish what I desire and achieve the purpose for which I sent it. Just as God's word is powerful and accomplishes His will, the words you speak about your path will shape your journey. When you affirm that God is guiding you, you are allowing His truth to fill your heart and mind, shaping the way you view your circumstances and your future. Affirmation is also an act of obedience. When you speak out God's promises, you are choosing to align your thoughts and your words with His truth. This means rejecting the lies of the enemy, the doubts and the fears that tell you you're not ready or that the future is uncertain. You are choosing to trust God, to declare that He is in control, and to walk in the confidence that comes from knowing His plans for you are good. When you affirm the path ahead, you are reaffirming your trust in God's sovereignty and His ability to lead you towards something greater than you could ever imagine. Affirming the path ahead also involves embracing the challenges and the opportunities that will come. Change is not without its difficulties, and the road ahead may not always be easy. But when you affirm that God is leading you, you can face the challenges with confidence, knowing that He will equip you for every step of the journey. The challenges you face will not break you. They will shape you, refine you, and prepare you for the blessings that God has in store. Each obstacle is an opportunity for growth, and every step forward is a step toward becoming the person God has destined you to be. As you affirm the path ahead, also take time to acknowledge how far you've come. The transformation that has already taken place in your life is a testimony to God's faithfulness and grace. Look back on the moments of struggle, the times when you felt lost or unsure, and recognize how much God has already done. Celebrate your growth, your victories, and the ways that God has been working in you. This reflection not only strengthens your faith, but also reminds you of the power of God's presence in your life. The path ahead is not something you are walking alone. God has been with you every step of the way, and He will continue to guide you. One of the most beautiful aspects of affirming your path is that it invites peace into your heart. Affirmation is not just about declaring your faith. It is about settling into the peace that comes from trusting God's plan. When you affirm that God is leading you, you choose to rest in His sovereignty. You choose to let go of the anxiety and uncertainty about the future and trust that He has already made a way for you. This peace comes not from understanding every detail of the path, but from knowing that God is in control and that He is working all things together for your good. Affirming the path ahead also means trusting in God's timing. The path may not always unfold the way you expect, and there may be times when you feel like progress is slow or uncertain. But chosen one trusts that God's timing is perfect. He is not slow in fulfilling His promises, but He is patient, making sure that everything falls into place at just the right moment. The journey may feel long at times, but every step is leading you to where God has destined you to be. So, chosen one, I encourage you to affirm the path ahead with faith and confidence. Declare that God is leading you, that His plans are good, and that the best is yet to come. Step forward in trust, knowing that God has already prepared the way, and that He will equip you for every challenge, every opportunity, and every step you take. Your future is bright, and it is filled with the fullness of God's love and purpose. Remember, chosen one, that affirmation is not just about speaking words. It is about aligning your heart and mind with God's truth. Trust in His guidance, walk in faith, and know that the path ahead is full of divine purpose and opportunity. You are not walking alone. God is with you, and He will lead you into the fullness of His plan for your life. As we conclude this journey, chosen one, let your heart be at peace. You have taken the first steps toward embracing the big change ahead, and with each step you take, God is with you. Trust in His plan, trust in His timing, and rest in the knowledge that His promises for your life are true. The road ahead may not always be clear, but with God as your guide, you are stepping into a future full of purpose, fulfillment, and divine blessing. Take a deep breath and release any lingering doubts or fears. Know that God has gone before you, and He is leading you to something far greater than you could have imagined. Embrace the path ahead with confidence, knowing that every step you take brings you closer to the divine purpose He has set for you. May you walk in peace, knowing that the transformation you've experienced is just the beginning. God is not done with you yet. He is still working, still guiding, and still preparing you for the fullness of His plan. Rest in this divine truth, chosen one, and trust that the best is yet to come. Sweet dreams of the journey ahead and the divine opportunities that are waiting for you.